You are not supposed to be here. But if you are reading this, you deserve to know the truth about what happened inside Universe 25, not the myths, not the oversimplifications, but the raw mechanics of a social collapse that was carefully engineered and meticulously recorded. It begins in 1968 in a sterile research facility in Maryland. The architect, Dr. John B. Calhoun, an ethologist obsessed with the social consequences of overpopulation, he called his creation a mortality-inhibiting environment for mice. But his colleagues, and later the world, would call it Universe 25. The enclosure was vast by mouse standards, over 250 nesting boxes, 24 feeding stations, unlimited food and water, and bedding refreshed regularly. There were no predators, no disease, no famine, no natural checks on population. If heaven had an address for rodents, this was it. At first, the mice flourished. 4 breeding pairs became dozens. Dozens became hundreds. By day 104, their numbers doubled every couple of months. A hum of life filled the corridors, the squeaks of newborns, the soft rustle of fur, the busy scent trails that marked a thriving rodent society. And then something shifted. By day 315, with about 600 mice inhabiting the space, growth slowed. But this wasn't due to lack of room Calhoun had built for thousands. Something intangible, something social had begun to fray. Hierarchy solidified. Dominant males, larger, scarred, battle-tested, claimed prime territories and breeding access. Subordinate males were pushed to the margins, often attacked without provocation. Females began to exhibit stress behaviors, abandoning nests, fighting one another, sometimes killing their own pups. By day 560, the population peaked at around 2,200 mice, far below the enclosure's intended capacity. But instead of stabilizing, the society began to implode. A new class emerged, the beautiful ones. And these were mostly young males who withdrew entirely from the chaos. They did not fight. They did not mate. They groomed obsessively, their fur immaculate, their bodies unscarred. They lived in isolation on the higher platforms, avoiding the tangled violence of the colony below. Reproduction plummeted. Birth rates collapsed. Infant mortality climbed to 100%. The very behaviors needed to sustain the population, nurturing, defending, reproducing, simply stopped. Mothers abandoned their young. Fathers stopped defending their territory. Social bonds dissolved into either apathy or pointless aggression. Even with unlimited food, water, and safety, the colony was on a path to extinction. By day 600, the last pup that would ever be born in Universe 25 took its first and only breath. Within 2 years, the once thriving utopia was silent. Every mouse was dead. Calhoun called this phenomenon the behavioral sink. And it wasn't just overcrowding, it was the breakdown of social roles, the collapse of purpose. In a world without struggle, without meaningful challenge or functional community, the society devoured itself, not through starvation or disease, but through apathy and dysfunction. And here is where the fourth wall cracks. Universe 25 was never really about mice. It was about us. Calhoun openly admitted that his rodent universes were a lens for examining human behavior under similar conditions. Not literal cities, not a one-to-one model, but a metaphor. What happens when a society loses its sense of purpose, when its members withdraw from community life, when social bonds fail? Critics argue we can't map mouse behavior directly onto human cities. They're right, humans are more complex, more adaptable. But the question lingers. If paradise can collapse for creatures as simple as mice, what happens when the same forces, crowding, alienation, hierarchy, purposelessness, press against us? Calhoun left Universe 25 as both a warning and an invitation. The warning, abundance without meaning leads to decay. The invitation, find purpose or risk becoming the beautiful ones, alive but already dead. And now you know.